eliminator or IBF title shot or Lomachenko fight, we'll see. Styles make fights. He's more open to throw his shots and engage. I want to engage, and that's a big fight that you really get up for.
We're all waiting for the Lomachenko versus George fight, which has brought up a lot of talk on its outcome. As we try to make our predictions, it seems that the pros are also picking their sides. Teofimo Lopez, the former lightweight champion with a reputation for bold pronouncements, hasn't shied away from commenting on the upcoming rematch between his two conquerors. This highly anticipated bout adds another interesting chapter into an already fascinating lightweight saga, and Lopez's insights, said in little bit of potential self-interest, make it even more intriguing.
Devin didn't do enough. Listen, Loma was dictating the fight from, I think, starting from the second round on. You know what I mean? He was pushing the fight more. He was throwing combinations more. It's just that people gotta look.
Lopez, who famously dethroned the seemingly invincible Lomachenko in 2020 to claim the unified lightweight titles, seems to be firmly in Loma's corner. He doesn't hold back his words and even predicts a more dominant performance from the Ukrainian fighter. Not only does he stop George Kambosos, Lopez said, he's going to make him look like an amateur that night. This is a strong statement considering Kambosos' recent upset victory over Lopez himself. So, what fuels Lopez's unwavering confidence in Lomachenko? There could be a few factors at play here. Firstly, Lopez has first-hand experience with Loma's exceptional skills. Their 2020 fight was a good war, with Lopez emerging victorious on the judges' scorecards. Perhaps Lopez genuinely believes Lomachenko is the superior fighter who simply had an off night when they met, but there might be a hint of hidden animosity. We've seen a lot go on in the sport. A defeated fighter often desires to see their conqueror fall, especially if a rematch hasn't materialized. A Lomachenko win could potentially pave the way for a future fight between Lopez and Kambosos, offering Lopez a chance for redemption against the man who took his titles. And there's always the element of strategic self-promotion. By hyping up Lomachenko's chances, Lopez keeps his own name alive in the sport. If Lomachenko dominates Kambosos, it reinforces the idea that Lopez beat Lomachenko at his absolute peak. On the other hand, a Kambosos victory would further elevate the significance of his upset win over Lopez. It's a win-win situation for Lopez's notoriety, regardless of the fight's outcome. But beyond potential personal motives, Lopez further continued to talk about the technical brilliance of Lomachenko. "You've got to be in there to really experience it," Lopez said, referring to Lomachenko's in-ring style. "It's so much different, man." Now, we can all agree that this acknowledgement of Lomachenko's unique skill set, even from a former opponent, speaks volumes about the Ukrainian's reputation for strategic genius and phenomenal footwork.
No, everybody knows Ryan Garcia can can make only one shot. It's right, it's left hook. That's it. So I think he's.
But let's look at what Ryan Garcia had to say. Rising star Ryan Garcia has entered the conversation surrounding the upcoming Lomachenko versus Kambosos fight, but not necessarily in the way you might expect. While many experts are focusing on the immediate fight, Garcia has offered his ranking of the top lightweights, surprisingly placing Lomachenko at the #1 spot. In a recent interview with World Boxing News, Garcia laid out his pecking order. "Loma no 1, he said. According to Garcia, he puts Lomachenko at the top of the lightweight division, even ahead of Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. Garcia elaborated, explaining, "Close between Devin and Tank. Then you got George, who fought well. Loma 1, then I would say Kambosos 2, and Devin and Tank a toss-up. They both had pretty mediocre performances."
I don't even know what happened to Lopez really on that fight. I bet money on Lopez. I lost. But yeah, I mean, I actually was rooting for Kambosos because I like Kambosos and me and him are kind of cool. So I was rooting for him.
This ranking is particularly interesting because it aligns Garcia, at least strategically, with Lomachenko. Garcia's praise for Lomachenko's performance against Teofimo Lopez in 2020 shed some light on his admiration. Lomachenko just fights so pure with his movement, and he doesn't waste any energy, Garcia added. He flows and he has the footwork, his body positioning. He fought amazingly, but he should have knocked Kami out. Now, while Garcia points out a missed opportunity for a knockout, his overall comments highlight Lomachenko's technical brilliance and efficiency in the ring. Garcia's words not only elevate Lomachenko's standing, but also subtly downplay the recent victories of Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. He describes their performances as mediocre, potentially reflecting a desire to elevate his own future fights against them, or should we say him looking at tank, because a rematch with Devin seems unlikely. A dominant win by Lomachenko over Kambosos would solidify his position at the top and potentially pave the way for a massive Garcia-Lomachenko showdown later down the line. I think that's a huge fight, me versus Lomachenko, Garcia openly admits, but I would love to fight Lomachenko as well. I think he's a great fighter. Garcia's words showcase his ambition and suggest a potential future clash between the two lightweight stars. However, Garcia acknowledges the need to focus on immediate challenges. Before that can happen, he clarifies, I need at least a fight before entertaining the thought of facing the two-time Olympic gold medalist. Garcia's comments then become a strategic move. He sides with Lomachenko, potentially positioning himself for a future mega fight, while simultaneously keeping his name relevant in the conversation surrounding the current lightweight landscape. Whether Garcia's ranking reflects genuine admiration for Lomachenko's skills or a calculated play for future matchups remains to be seen. But we do know who Garcia is going with. But with all this going on, we knew one name was not going to miss. Shakur Stevenson, the undefeated WBC lightweight champion, seems to be on a mission, his target being the legendary Vasiliy Lomachenko. However, unlike the usual pre-fight hype, Stevenson's campaign to secure this fight has taken an unconventional turn, with some finding it beyond embarrassing. If you're asking yourself why, well, first, Stevenson, sporting a perfect record of 21 wins with 10 knockouts, took to social media, urging his fans to do his dirty work for him. Somebody asked Loma if he will fight me after Kambosos, he posted. Obviously, this is a direct jab to Loma. But further complicating the situation, Stevenson seems to be overlooking a recent controversy. His recent fight against Edwin de los Santos ended in a split decision victory for Stevenson. However, many believe the decision was undeserved and a rematch with de los Santos feels like the more logical next step. Critics argue that Stevenson should show some pride and focus on clearing his name before setting his sights on a bigger name like Lomachenko. But what about Lomachenko himself? Why the relentless pursuit from Stevenson? According to Stevenson, it's all about the challenge. He acknowledges Lomachenko's reputation for avoiding safety-first fighters, a not-so-subtle jab at Lomachenko's counterpunching style. Stevenson, known for his aggressive and flashy footwork, believes he presents a unique test for Lomachenko, a test Lomachenko might be reluctant to take. Furthermore, Stevenson throws shade at Lomachenko's motivations. He suggests Lomachenko prioritizes money fights against popular fighters, implying that Stevenson himself doesn't fit the bill. This adds another layer to the whole story. A young, hungry champion trying to prove himself against a decorated veteran who might be more interested in lucrative fights with established stars. Stevenson doesn't stop there, though. He confidently dismisses any possibility of Lomachenko defeating the current WBA lightweight champion, George Kambosos Jr. He won't win, Stevenson boldly said, showcasing his undying belief in his own abilities and potential future opponent. However, things get interesting here. If Lomachenko does emerge victorious, Stevenson suggests a lack of courage on Lomachenko's part if he doesn't accept the challenge. He turned me down before, LOL, Stevenson reminds everyone, highlighting a previous instance where Lomachenko declined a fight with him. Their story takes another turn when the possibility of Lomachenko facing Emmanuel Navarrete after the Kambosos fight is mentioned. Stevenson dismisses this as both predictable and soft, further fueling the fire of his desire for a fight with Lomachenko. Finally, Stevenson throws another name into the mix, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He expresses interest in facing both Lomachenko and Davis, showcasing his ambition and willingness to take on the biggest names in the division. So Shakur Stevenson seems to be in Team George. And whatever reason he has, whether this is a clever strategy or a desperate plea to be seen, that's his final pick. But they don't stop here. Devin Haney was not left behind on this. Devin Haney, the undisputed lightweight champion, stands as a unique figure in the upcoming Lomachenko versus Kambosos rematch. Having shared the ring with both fighters defeating Lomachenko in a close and controversial decision and twice emerging victorious over Kambosos, Haney offers a valuable insider's perspective on the highly anticipated bout. Haney's clash with Lomachenko in 2023 remains an interesting topic. Despite Lomachenko outlanding a massive number of punches, 124 to Haney's 110, the judges awarded the win to Haney. This experience undoubtedly provided Haney with an intimate understanding of Lomachenko's technical brilliance, his footwork, and his counterpunching style. On the other hand, Haney isn't a stranger to Kambosos either. Their two encounters have resulted in dominant victories for Haney, showcasing his ability to exploit Kambosos' vulnerabilities. Haney has observed Kambosos' strengths, his aggressive fighting style, his relentless pressure, but also his potential weaknesses, areas where Lomachenko's skills might pose a serious threat. Given this unique perspective, Haney's recent comments about the fight carry some weight. "He's a good fighter," Haney said, referring to Lomachenko. "I believe he got what it takes to put him down, but the fight will be great." Now, it's clear that Devin felt the weight Lomachenko brought to the ring. And even though Haney emerged victorious in their previous fight, he recognizes that Lomachenko possesses the talent and the tools to defeat Kambosos. However, Haney doesn't downplay Kambosos' chances either. He's a great fighter too, but I don't think he stands a chance. Haney's own hard-fought victories over Kambosos reinforce this notion. He knows firsthand that Kambosos is a tough opponent who won't back down easily, but even with this, he will ultimately lose. Now, this is our favorite sport, and we are not new to the trash talk and heated rivalries that often dominate the headlines.
We saw the pictures of you in the dressing room crying. Can you talk about how much it hurt to be on the wrong end of those scores?
However, a recent comment from unified light middleweight champion Jermell Charlo has injected a refreshing dose of strategic insight into the conversation surrounding the upcoming Lomachenko versus Kambosos fight. This isn't the first time Charlo has offered thoughtful analysis of a fight outside his weight class. Just recently, Charlo had weighed in on the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder fight, praising Ryder's toughness while acknowledging Canelo's undeniable talent. Now, Charlo has turned his attention to the lightweight clash between Lomachenko and Kambosos. It's important to remember that Charlo and his twin brother, Jermall Charlo, haven't shied away from voicing their desire to move up to higher weight classes in the future. The lightweight division therefore holds a certain level of interest for them, as potential future opponents could reside there. So, what did Charlo have to say about the upcoming fight? According to a recent interview, Charlo offered a well-balanced assessment, acknowledging both fighters' strengths and potential challenges. Lomachenko's a great fighter, there's no doubt about that. He's got that textbook technical style that can be frustrating for anyone to deal with. His opening statement highlights Charlo's recognition of Lomachenko's exceptional technical skills. And let's not also forget that Lomachenko's footwork, his precise counter-punching, and his overall boxing IQ are widely regarded as some of the best in the sport. Charlo, a powerful puncher known for his aggressive style, clearly understands the challenges Lomachenko presents, Charlo continued. But being off 15 months, we saw it didn't work too well for Teofimo. He tried to reference the fight to Teofimo Lopez, the brash young fighter who dethroned Lomachenko in 2020, but then lost his titles to Kambosos in a surprising upset last year. Charlo suggests that Lomachenko's lengthy layoff before his fight with Lopez might have played a role in his performance. Hopefully this is different, Charlo added, offering a glimmer of hope for Lomachenko in the rematch. He acknowledges that the time off could have been a setback for Lomachenko, but also expresses optimism that Lomachenko might be in better form this time around. Finally, Charlo turned his attention to Kambosos. Kambosos, he's a tough competitor and he comes to fight. You gotta respect that. With the right moves, he will definitely be a good opponent, probably even win. This is a clear acknowledgement of Kambosos' recent victory and his fighting spirit, Charlo recognizes that underestimating Kambosos would be a mistake. Well, from what it seems, Charlo is going with Kambosos. He seems to think that the break might have negatively impacted Lomachenko enough for him to receive a loss. But it didn't end with Charlo. Gervonta Tank Davis, the undefeated WBA lightweight champion, has never been one to shy away from expressing his opinions, often with a blunt and confident flair. This tendency extends to the upcoming Lomachenko versus Kambosos rematch, where Davis recently offered a prediction, although one laced with his characteristic swagger. Unlike Jermell Charlo, who offered a balanced assessment of both fighters, Davis seems to be firmly in one corner. In a recent interview, Davis said, "Lomachenko's a great fighter, but his time is up. This is Kambosos' division now." But while we also take his words, it's important to acknowledge the history between Davis and Lomachenko. While they haven't shared the ring yet, a potential fight between them has been a topic of discussion for quite some time. Davis, known for his devastating knockout power, represents a stylistic antithesis to Lomachenko's technical precision. Perhaps Davis sees this potential matchup as a clash of styles, and by predicting a Kambosos win, he indirectly strengthens his own position as the true king of the division. Furthermore, Davis might be referencing the recent trend of upsets in the lightweight division. Just as Charlo pointed out Teofimo Lopez's surprising loss to Kambosos, Davis might be suggesting that Lomachenko, despite his past achievements, is vulnerable to similar upsets. The ever-changing landscape of boxing, with young, hungry fighters constantly pushing the boundaries, aligns with Davis's aggressive and dominant persona. Perhaps he sees himself as the embodiment of this new era, and a Kambosos victory reinforces that notion.
You picked Tank to win. So Ryan said that after Tank, he wants to break you. Did you see that?
No,
What do you think about that?
I don't care. He always talking, just talking. That's it. I don't
And
care.
message to your fans, Loma, people are
However, Davis's prediction shouldn't be taken solely as a slight against Lomachenko. There's a chance he genuinely believes Kambosos' fighting style presents a massive challenge for the Ukrainian fighter. Kambosos' relentless pressure, his unwavering determination, and his recent success against Lopez could pose serious problems for Lomachenko, especially if Lomachenko isn't at his absolute peak. Of course, Davis's comments wouldn't be complete without a touch of self-promotion. By predicting a Kambosos win, he positions himself as the next logical opponent for the victor. Whoever wins that fight, they gotta come see me next. That's the real lightweight championship right here. This audacious statement leaves no doubt about Davis's confidence and his desire to unify the division. But even with all that, he firmly believes that this is not a fight Lomachenko might have a chance in. This upcoming rematch between Vasiliy Lomachenko and George Kambosos has become a focal point in the boxing world, with fighters, analysts, and fans alike offering their predictions and stirring the pot of anticipation. While Gervonta Tank Davis's bold statement picking Kambosos surprised all of us, it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. And we could admit that despite his past achievements and technical brilliance, Lomachenko enters the rematch with a question mark hanging over him. His close defeats to Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, while highlighting his resilience, also exposed a potential vulnerability against fighters with superior size and physical advantages. Veteran boxer and analyst Sergio Mora throws his weight behind Kambosos in the upcoming rematch, but with a cautious tone. He acknowledges Lomachenko's past struggles against taller fighters like Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, suggesting that these size discrepancies played a part in Lomachenko's close defeats. Mora touched on the physical difference between those fights and the upcoming rematch. Against Kambosos, he won't have that much to overcome physically, he states, implying that Kambosos, while not a small fighter, doesn't possess the same significant height and reach advantage that may have hampered Lomachenko in the past. Then, there is the upset factor. The recent trend of upsets in the lightweight division casts a long shadow over the Lomachenko versus Kambosos rematch. Just as Davis used Teofimo Lopez's surprise loss to Kambosos as a justification for his prediction, many analysts are wary of underestimating Kambosos' hunger and determination. Kambosos, after all, defied expectations by dethroning Lopez and claiming the lightweight titles. This unpredictable element adds another layer of intrigue to the fight, keeping fans guessing about the potential outcome. And can we not also forget the respectful rivalry here? Lomachenko, known for his laser-focused demeanor, has acknowledged Kambosos' fighting spirit. He never gives up during a fight. Lomachenko stated, highlighting the unwavering determination that propelled Kambosos to his surprise victory against Teofimo Lopez. We could interpret this acknowledgement in a few ways. On the one hand, it suggests genuine respect for Kambosos' relentless pressure and unyielding will. However, some of us might see a hint of something more subtle in Lomachenko's words. It could be that this is a hidden acknowledgement of a potential challenge. Lomachenko, accustomed to outboxing his opponents with his technical brilliance, might recognize that Kambosos' relentless style demands a different approach.
I really like the Gervonta Davis fight. I think styles-wise, a lot of people saying he's too explosive, he'll knock me out, whatever. They said the same thing with Teofimo Lopez. So I think styles-wise, me and him is a shootout. I can take a shot. I got a chin on me. I'm very explosive.
I can fight for. Why he can't fight with me when I stay in the 130? Why?
Perhaps there's a flicker of concern beneath the surface of respect, a recognition that Kambosos' fighting spirit presents a unique threat. Regardless of the underlying motive, this mutual respect promises a clean and focused fight. Both Lomachenko and Kambosos will likely enter the ring with a single goal: outsmart and outmaneuver their opponent. However, many fans and voices remain firm believers in Lomachenko's talent. His exceptional footwork, his precise punching, and his overall boxing IQ are unmatched in the division. Lomachenko himself is fueled by the desire to reclaim his championship status. "Right now, my goal is to become a world champion again," he declared. This hunger, coupled with his experience and technical prowess, could lead to a dominant performance in the rematch. Regardless of the victor, the Lomachenko vs. Kambosos rematch will have massive ramifications for the lightweight division. A Lomachenko victory could set up a unification fight with Gervonta Davis, a clash of styles that would captivate boxing fans worldwide. On the other hand, a Kambosos win would solidify his position as the dominant force in the division, potentially setting the stage for future fights against rising stars or established veterans. With a mix of factors at play, Lomachenko's past struggles, Kambosos' momentum, the respect between the fighters, and Lomachenko's desire for redemption, the outcome of the rematch remains shrouded in uncertainty. This very uncertainty fuels the excitement and keeps all of us glued to our seats, eagerly awaiting the bell to ring. Will Lomachenko regain his throne, or will Kambosos build on his recent success and usher in a new era in the lightweight division? Share your predictions down below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. See you in the next one.